Let's end tonight's show with an honest conversation with ourselves. Here's the question. Do you regret the subject you picked in your graduation? Do you think you could have earned more by studying another subject? We often joke about it. Or did you take a subject for the sheer love of it and have absolutely no regrets? I ask this because there's a very interesting conversation happening online. It was triggered by the findings of a study by the Institute of Fiscal Studies. It has thrown up something interesting on gender pay gap. It says women earn less because of their subject choices. Now, first things first, what is a gender pay gap? It's the difference between what working men earn and what working women earn. It's the difference of the average. And that difference is huge. So huge that data suggests that earlier it would have taken 60 years to close the gender pay gap. And thanks to COVID, the number of years has now increased to 90 years. It will take 90 years to close this gap, the gender pay gap. It's often confused with unequal pay. These are two different things. What is unequal pay? It's when a woman earns less than a man for doing the very same job. Unequal pay is a reality, and in some countries it's illegal, including here in India. But things are different on the ground everywhere in the world. In the US, for example, a woman earns 82 cents for every dollar that a man makes for doing the same job. Women are paid less. But today we're going to focus on gender pay gap, how women in general make less money than men, no matter what job they're doing. So do women really earn less because of the gender pay gap? Well, yes and no. Yes, because the study says that women make for just a third of economics graduates. That's one reason they give. And economics happens to be the subject with the highest financial returns. You study economics, you make more money. But women make up for 2/3 of creative arts graduates. And that is the subject with the lowest returns in terms of money, creative arts. And the study goes on to say that studying economics would boost a woman's pay by 75% by the age of 30. Studying economics would give her 10 times the return than studying creative arts. But what the study doesn't tell us is that subject choice is just half the story. The rest being, in most societies, for the longest time, women did not have the same rights as men. In some cases, women still don't have the same rights as men. Women still do not have the same educational opportunities. Their biological and career cycles often clash. I'll give you an example. At 25, for example, a woman earns 5% less than a man on an average the world over. By the age of 30, that gap increases to 25%. They earn 25% less than men. Why does that happen? Because 30 is the age when most graduates start having children. Women lose out on opportunities because of motherhood. It's an unfair reality, and it's a reality. So there are really a lot of factors when one talks about the gender pay gap, not just the choice of subject. When it comes to the choice of subject, though, do you think a student should pick a subject depending on his or her, on its monetary value? Or should she follow her passion? If you ask me, this should be a student's choice. Whether you pick a subject because of its lucrative career opportunities or because you want to deep dive into a subject that you love. It's true that there is inequality in the way our society treats certain subjects. Arts always figures at the bottom. But you see, not every person, man or woman, dreams of making a fortune. What everyone, irrespective of the gender, wants, I'm assuming, is to be happy. Now, it entirely depends on the person as to what makes her happy, him or her happy. Whether it is a high-paying job or a job that makes you feel fulfilled. And this is a conversation that we must have with ourselves, with our children, as they take off for college. What is it that we want from life? What is our one true passion? And are we ready to compromise for the sake of money? Or are we settling for a lesser bank balance, but perhaps a more fulfilled heart? Also, since this whole conversation started as a result of a gender pay gap study, here's something else that we must think about. Forcing a woman to pick science or pick economics is not the way we should be aiming to close the gender pay gap. We should start valuing choices, rights, and freedom. That's the only way to close social, economic, and pay gaps. Do write to us and let me know if you agree. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.